So for this, you should also review your findings with the other project members in the interview and document the results. That is, you build the models within a day or two to avoid forgetting important details. Next technique is distributing and collecting questionnaires. So questionnaires enable analysts to collect information from a large number of stakeholders. Because perhaps you cannot interview all of them, then questionnaires are very relevant for this. So questionnaires are often used to obtain preliminary insights into stakeholders' information needs, which helps to determine areas that needs further research by using other methods. So this figure here is a sample questionnaire showing 3 types of questions. So the first part has close-ended questions to determine quantitative information. For example, how many phone calls do you receive? So the second part consists of opinion questions in which respondents are asked whether they agree or disagree with the statements. Both types of questions are useful for tabulating and determining quantitative averages. And the third part of the questionnaire, the third part of the questions, request an explanation of a procedure or problem. So questions such as this are good as a preliminary investigation to help direct further fact-finding activities. And the next technique is reviewing inputs, outputs, and documentation. So there are 2 sources of information about inputs, outputs, and procedures. So one source is external to the organization. It may not be easy to obtain information from other companies, but they are potential source of important information. The second source of inputs, outputs, and procedures includes existing business documents such as what you're seeing here, and procedure descriptions within the organization. So reviewing internal documents and procedures serves 2 purposes. So first, it is a good way to get understanding of the processes. Second is that existing inputs and outputs and documents can serve as visual aids for the interview and as the working documents for discussion. So reviewing the documentation of existing procedures, because every businesses have their own procedures on how they implement their business, it helps to identify business rules that may not come up in interviews. So analyzing formal procedure documentation also helps reveal discrepancies and redundancies in the business processes. And then the next technique is observing and documenting business procedures. So you watch and learn. So more than any other activity, observing a business process in action will help you understand the business functions. So you can observe a business process in many ways, ranging from a quick walkthrough of an office or to doing the work yourself. So spending several hours observing users at their jobs helps you understand the details of using the computer system and carrying out business functions. So another technique is to research vendor solutions. That means there are already existing software that other companies have developed and it is available in the market. So many of the problems and opportunities that companies want to address, which new information systems have already been solved by other companies. So There are firms that already have packaged solutions for a particular business need. So taking advantage of existing knowledge or solutions can avoid costly mistakes and save money and time. So it is not necessarily to create information systems by yourself. Sometimes it is also good to just buy, but of course it depends on the requirements that you will gather in your analysis activities. So there are three positive contributions and one danger in exploring existing solutions. So first is that existing solutions or existing softwares will frequently help users generate new ideas for how to better perform their business functions. So second positive contribution is that these solutions are excellent and state-of-the-art because without including this research, the development team may create a system that is obsolete even before it is designed. So companies need solutions that not only solve basic business problems, but that are up to date with competitive practices. And the third positive contributions is that it is often cheaper and less risky to buy a solution rather than to build it. If the solution meets the needs of the company and can be purchased, then that is usually safer and quicker and less expensive route. So, however, there is always a danger of buying something that does not quite fit the needs of the business. And uh, care should be taken when purchasing a solution. So do not rush into a purchase decision until requirements are fully defined and all viable alternatives have been thoroughly investigated. And then another technique, or the last technique, is collecting active user comments and suggestions. User feedback from initial and later testing is valuable source of requirements information. So yet interviews, discussions, and model reviews are an imperfect way of eliciting complete and accurate requirements. So the phrase, "I'll know it when I see it," applies well to requirements definition. So users often cannot completely or accurately state their requirements until they can interact with a live system that implements those requirements. So based on those interactions, user can develop concrete suggestions for improvement and identify missing or poorly implemented requirements.